morning, ladies and gentlemen, David here, and welcome back to another video. I'm extremely excited to be here because Meta4 ReFantazio reviews are finally here, and I'm excited to go over them because it's looking really good. It's not surprising, really. We've all played the demo. It is absolutely peak, but apparently press and media are thinking the exact same thing as us. So as always, before a huge ATLUS release, I'm going to go over some of the more positive reviews for the game, some of the more negative reviews for the game, and then we'll be discussing what we think of all these review scores. So I'm really excited. Today is also your final chance to enter my giveaway for a code of Meta4 on your platform of choice. So if you'd like a chance to win, you are at the right place. Just make sure you subscribe and comment with your platform of choice on this video or a previous recent video of mine, and you are set to enter. Let's get right into it. So here we are on Metacritic.com. 20 critic reviews for now, which is not a lot, meaning that the score can increase, it can get lower, but it's sitting at a freaking 93 right now on Metacritic, which is absolutely crazy. I'm so excited to see that. This is universal acclaim for Metacritic. This is an absolutely good score. As you can see, there is no user score, which is normal. The game isn't out yet, and there is no negative or mixed score. Everything is green, everything is very positive. We have other reviews here, so 8 reviews for PCs at 95, 13 reviews on Xbox at 91, no reviews for the PlayStation 4 version of the game for now, which, hey, makes sense. Let's look at some of these reviews, shall we? Alright, so we have a few perfect scorers here, so let's go over some of them. Checkpoint Gaming saying, I've always wanted ATLUS to tackle political fantasy as a genre, and of course, when they finally do it with Meta4 ReFantazio, it's one of the best RPGs in years. This is the result of 20 years of incredible gamecraft that has taken shape in the best and most refined version of the Persona and Shin Megami Tensei. Wow, this is high praise, and again, this is when ATLUS was talking about a medieval RPG. I was expecting the best of SMT and Persona in a different setting. Apparently, that's what they're giving us. So this was a PlayStation 5 review. Noisy Pixel is an outlet that I like quite a bit, with a perfect score once again in just about every way. Meta4 ReFantazio checks all the boxes for a masterful fantasy epic. Between the addictive gameplay design, endlessly strategic combat, and griping narrative propelled by a compelling cast, this is an undeniable must-play that guaranteed to be ATLUS's next big hit. The level of praise is extremely high from people who've been playing the game for a long time. Famitsu was the only previous review that we had, which was at a 37 out of 40. They grade games out of 40 there at Famitsu in Japan, which is roughly a quick math would be a 90 or something, which is again really solid. Lots of perfect scores, y'all. VGC and everything. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 100 scores, so perfect scores here. VGC saying it makes the game nearly a 100-hour journey. Wow, it's a long 95, 95, 95, 91, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90. Wow, 80. Okay, so here's the weakest score here at 85 here from Tierra Gamer, which is an outlet that I've not heard of before, but let's look at what they have to say. We'll even look at the whole article here for them. So let's look at what they have to say here. Meta4 ReFantazio differs from the unique proposition that ATLUS promised to develop for the West over 8 years. Its structure clearly reflects Persona 5, and based on that foundation, the team has refined and built one of the most entertaining games of the year. While ATLUS has demonstrated its mastery in many areas, such as its ability to create fascinating worlds and an unmatched aesthetic, it can offer much more in terms of gameplay. You know what? I'm curious. Let's look at the full review here from Tierra Gamer, and once again, the link to the Metacritic and all reviews are going to be in the video description. Well, that's not gonna happen because this review is in Spanish. I'm sorry, you guys, I cannot read Spanish, so I don't know here. Let's look at the other one, though, from GamePro Germany. Hopefully that one is in English. They gave it a 89 here. An excellent role-playing game with fantastic stories and a large scope, but with more room for improvement technically. And they played it on PlayStation 5. Let's look at that review, if it's in English. Error 404. Alright, we got another one here from WCCF Tech. 90. Again, we're looking at the lower scores here right now at 90, which is crazy, but I want to stress now it's at 93. Again, there's not a lot of reviews. So the embargo just lifted. As of the time of recording this video, the embargo lifted 7 minutes ago, okay? So this is where we're at. Those who harbor an inmate distaste for the social system and time limits of modern Persona titles will find no solace here. But those who are willing to embrace what very well could be the 6th Persona title in all but name alone will experience one of the most stylish Japanese role-playing games of 2024. I have a video that I've been hard at work on for Metaphor, which I can't give a lot of details about it, but it should come out late this week, and I'm going to talk about SMT and Persona and Metaphor. So if you want to check that out, just ring the notification bell. I would really appreciate it. But we're going to talk more about that because, as I was expecting, most reviewers are talking about Persona, most reviewers are talking about Shin Megami Tensei, but this one here is talking about Metaphor being, it could be Persona 6. So I want to read that here. Let's see what they have to say. And finally, we have a working link here. So here it is from Kai Tatsumoto here at WCCF Tech. So here in those two paragraphs, they're talking about social links and the calendar system. So let me look at that. Social links have been a core component of the modern Persona series, presenting a physical manifestation of trust between the main character and a chosen ally. Whether they're actively in the combat party or merely an outside observer, these systems play out identically to their Persona counterparts, with spending time with a given supporter yielding an additional rank and typically some form of passive boon for the archetype that they provide the player. The system at play here has been largely simplified, with no time spent with a follower yielding anything less than a rank up. Gone are the days of having to take someone out for a burger 2 or 3 times before their social link increases. So here's a twist here on the social link system, which again works for an RPG that isn't Persona. It's not medieval Persona, it's not a spin-off, it's its own thing, it's a new IP. There is a handy menu that players can bring up at any time to quickly see which supporters are ready to take things to the next level, and selecting them will instantly teleport the player into speaking distance. Many of these events will require additional criteria, such as speaking to a party member while traveling to another city, or speaking to them in the evening versus the day. That's cool. That's a cool twist on the social link system, something that we have seen before though when it comes to the night and day stuff with, you know, Persona 3, for example, with the old man in the bar. You can only speak to him at night, stuff like that. So we've seen that before, but hey, you need to speak with a certain party member during travels to unlock the next rank of a certain bond. That's interesting, and that is indeed a twist. At each passing phase of the day, Gallica, the fairy that follows the player around during their journey, will offer a hint and let players telepathically communicate and hear the wishes of one who wishes to confide in the player. Here it is. So they're talking about the calendar system now. To my chagrin, Metaphor ReFantazio still features a limited window to proceed with the adventure through another calendar system. I'm very intrigued here because, again, from what we've played in the demo, the calendar system is kind of unnecessary and kind of worthless early on. So I'm really interested here in what they have to say. Players only have a limited number of days to seek the crown, and every action they do, whether it's spending time with a confidant, reading a book, hitting the battle coliseum for fame and glory, and so on, consumes 1/2 of a given day. Suppose Morgana's persistent nagging to go to sleep after exploring a palace in Persona 5 annoyed you. In that case, you'll have no quarter from Gallica doing the same thing after venturing into a dungeon in the daytime. Because of this, dungeons in Metaphor ReFantazio are better suited to be tackled in a single day without taking return trips. MP is still a finite resource with very few ways to recover it outside of consumable items or leaving the dungeon to catch some shut-eye. But there are few ways to explore the system to the player's benefits. The easiest is to convert the player back into a mage archetype and attack enemies on the open field or pass turns in combat. Both provide a minimal 3 MP recovery, but enough to push forward if the player spends enough time grinding. I touched upon this briefly before, but the archetype system sets Metaphor ReFantazio apart from the Shin Megami Tensei counterparts, despite both sharing similar DNA. Rather than being locked to a single arcana or persona, each party member in Metaphor ReFantazio draws from the same pool of archetypes and can be equipped with a given class. These archetypes changes everything from the character's weapon, elemental strength and weaknesses, and even bonuses to core stats, both positive and negative. If you want to run a team of 4 mages or gunners in the back row, that's entirely up to you. Each character levels up a given archetype independently, and it's almost always worth it to pick up as many levels as possible, as nearly every skill acquired in a given archetype can be carried forward into another. So it's really interesting here to hear what they have to say. The calendar system, they're not going in depth enough, in my opinion, to get a full understanding of what it is precisely. They're saying how similar it is to Persona, but how is it different? Because again, when I talked to the developers in my preview event, they told me that they are using the calendar system in a different way than Persona, and this review isn't helping. The other reviews that we looked at aren't helping me understand that yet. Again, it's a 100-hour long RPG. I know ATLUS sent codes kind of late, so reviewers they might not even all be done with the game, you know. So this is a quick look at the reviews for Metaphor ReFantazio, and let me refresh the Metacritic here page to see if the score changed ever since I started recording. It is now at a 94. So yes, it changed. It increased a point at 22 reviews now, 94 universal acclaim. That is so cool. I'm very excited to play Metaphor, you guys. And once again, I have a lot of cool content coming for you on the channel in the next few days or so. So if you're interested, make sure you subscribe, drop a comment with your platform of choice for the code while you're at it, and ring that notification bell. If you like the video, a thumbs up is a big help. Otherwise, happy launch week for Metaphor, y'all. I'm very excited, and those reviews, while unsurprising, are still something cool to see. And as you can see, I have this big grin on my face ever since I started recording, because this is cool news. We've been waiting for this game for, again, as the reviewer said before, 8 years at this point. They revealed it in 2015 was the first reveal, or 2016 was the first reveal. Crazy stuff. I'm here for it. Thank you for watching, y'all. Bye.